Hi, beautiful people and beautiful souls. Today the message is about when navigating something that feels quite complex and overwhelming. We'll see a general overview and one key advice that can be very constructive for well-being and the own mental health. We are not talking about something that can be a speculation in the future. So for example, if you have a tendency towards anxiety or future projection, this is not the content of this video, although it could be still helpful and constructive. If you wish to stick around, you're very welcome. As always, take what resonates with you and let go the rest. When I speak, anyone that resonates with the message, it's very welcome. There's always something constructive that can be extrapolated, whether there's a very pragmatic and logical approach to life. For example, to navigate something that has to do with career, work life, work relationship, personal growth, finances, dreams, health, but also those who relate to merging psychic abilities within the human life. So this could be also in open perceptions to receive download messages, visions, to feel energies from the land, from the people, from these realms and other. And in my audience, there's all of you, so I'm gonna keep that more niche part towards the end. Now, let's see, clarify that we're not talking about anxiety or fear when it comes from things that have not yet happened in the present. We are instead talking about situations that are complex for challenges that are in the present moment. This is something that we can be navigating within the day, the moment, and something that feels a bit too much. And we may feel we haven't got too much tools, we haven't got the capabilities or the knowledge or the resources to face it and to deal with it. And I want to bring especially two perspectives. We're going to talk about dissociation and what it could do to the brain, the nervous system, and ultimately for the evolution. But first, the distinction that I want to make is oftentimes with people, there are people that, let's make these two oppositions, and then we know there's all the different shades of colors in between. But if we take, Abrahamics would say, the two ends of the stick, if we take the two edges, the two polarities, the two opposites, we can have the people that want to hide the truth. So anything that's uncomfortable, anything that is painful, anything that could disrupt that sensation of peace, that everything goes fine, gets hidden underneath the rug. And then on the other edge, you may have the truth seeker, the one that want to know everything. So like, doesn't matter how threatening, how dark, how uncomfortable, give the truth 100% to me. I rather knowing the truth rather than moving forward with something that it's a lie or is corrupted. That's me. If you resonate with any of the two, or just share in the comment, it's beautiful also to share, because there's no such a thing as right or wrong or one being better than the other. We all learning from each other, and ultimately we come together. Everyone is such a key piece of the puzzle in this beautiful co-creation of Earth. When people tend to wanting to hide the truth, so I just want to share a few things that may happen, because the brain is so intelligent. It's so intelligent. We'll always try to protect you. We'll always try to make sure to protect your own evolution and survival. And so then the coping mechanism can be so many. Every time that we go through something, that is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth, exploration, or to shut down. If you decide to shut down, please be aware there is something that is called dissociation. And when this is brought a bit too far, the dissociation can remain also later through life. And this is why I feel this may be more harmful than good. We're all connected. We're all connected. So we have this beautiful ability to differentiate, for example, from between the thought of the mind, the sensation of the truth from the heart, the feelings from the skin, the vision from the eyes, the sound that we can perceive with the ears, and so much more. But ultimately, it's a system that works together. And so when we pretend, when we put everything under a label, or we're locking into a room or a cage because that's painful and we don't want to deal with it, or we're not ready to deal with it, just remember, as everything works as a system, it will come up at a certain point. It's an illusion. That to have that separated and dissociated, it's an illusion. And it can be not as constructive for your own evolution and for health. With so much compassion for the human species, we go through stages. I'm gonna make an example here, which I hope no one of you is gonna relate, but I know someone will. So say, for example, when there are situations of trauma or abuse, or sometimes even with the victims of war, anything that can feel very intense. It is normal to go through layers. When you're a child and your digestive system is preparing for you to be able to digest any bite, that doesn't happen overnight. It happens one spoon at a time, and the more you evolve, the more you grow, the more what you can take on and digest, put in place and transmute becomes more and more. And so what an infant, then a child, is able to digest is much less than what an adolescent and a human can digest. It is the same with trauma. It is the same with what we go through in life. If something very complex happen, now, and here I'm bringing out the other element to the table, which is the knowing of the metaphysical law, the law of the universe, the law of attraction, the knowing of simply the remembering of how powerful are the words. And so what we speak creates and continues to shape the energy field around us. If this is too woo-woo for you, that's fine. It's not going to change what is the structure or thing. Simply try. You don't have to believe in metaphysics nor in the law of attraction. Try. Whichever belief, whichever words or even songs that you play the most, whichever words you speak, believing in them, whichever thoughts with intention you continue to play out in your mind, how that solidify and how that strengthen with the time. You may have a belief, you may have made an association, something that you think is true. Maybe you thought about that since you were a child. Maybe it's just something that's an association that you make. But I invite you to go ahead and ask many other peoples and see if they have the same. Very likely other people don't make that association. They haven't reinforced that. Example, I was speaking the other day with a client, and she made a very curious, she was giving it for granted. It was normal for her, but not for other people. She made this association that for her, taking responsibility was the same of not being able to express her inner child. And she had demonstrated that so many other times that instead was not, that she was very capable of being a responsible adult with so many beautiful accomplishments. But somehow there was this clashing inner belief of, if I take on more responsibility, then I'm not able to be my inner child, or I'm not able to be as playful. This is just one example. Something that you reinforce, something that you think one day after the other, it can compound, it can strengthen, and then that becomes your reality. But not necessarily that's a reality for everyone. It might just be something that you have reinforced. So with the same principle, the words that we use have a contribution to then the patterns that we attract. There's so much more to this, it's not for this video. Now the invitation, what is? That's not to take even this too far, because we're still going in an experience through the flesh, through the human mind, through the nervous system. When something very tough comes, there's opportunity for growth there. There is either something that we're being calling too much, or there is a part of us that even if we don't want, it's calling for that pattern or that event. Or if it's not something that we called consciously or unconsciously, it's something that came through the environment, then maybe there's an opportunity for growth. Maybe it's a challenge, maybe you ask for courage and you were presented with the opportunity to be courageous. Hey, maybe it's just something that it's for you to say no. It's something that you're going through, you're gonna be able to resolve it and go above it. Maybe you're able to go through that on your own. Maybe you need some external help. Nonetheless, there's gonna be a way of going through and growing through it. It's important that if you are somehow aware of the law of the universe and you have been working on affirmations and manifestation, my advice for today is still, please speak out on what you're navigating. Please don't hide the complexity, the pain, the darkness underneath the rug. The body needs to express it. Your own mind, your own rational mind, with all its intelligence, has really benefits from the opportunity to see, reflect, analyze, put into orders, and then come up with questions, come up with, observe. What's true, what's untrue, what resonates with you, what doesn't, what are the lessons that you can learn out of that occasions. If you simply put everything under the rug, if something similar comes again and you haven't taken the chance to sit with it, to analyze, to observe, was any of that your fault? Was it not? What can be immediately removed or transmuted? What else can it be done to it? If you don't sit with it and fail to recognize and find the lessons, then you're gonna be at the service to your future self and the opportunity for further growth in the future. Also, there's the human part. And I don't know what's your situation. Some of you are surrounded by love and family. You have people that you love, whether they are physically nearby or digitally nearby. Some of you, I know, it's very much lonely. It's very much isolating, especially to you. Please find ways to communicate what is going through. In Australia, there are so many beautiful services also available for free to support people to navigate through mental health. There are helpful lines that you can call 24/7 services. However, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm also, in a small part, a counselor, an hypnotherapist. I do want to make a disclaimer. Reach out, please, if you're in need to these 24/7 available lines or services. Remember, mental health practitioners in Australia have mandatory reporting obligations. This means that as you express what you're navigating through, because you are open to receive help, which is great, if you disclose something that could signal that you're at risk of self-harm, or someone else or a child is at risk of abuse or life, or if you've been linked to a crime or etc., there are some situations where the confidentiality by law has to be breached and the matter has to escalate to the system. The purpose is constructive. Out of transparency, it's just useful to know that if you reach out for help, do so, know that the system is there, but also be aware of which are the areas in which the system may overtake and override the confidentiality. If you are not sure who to talk to, at least speak to yourself. Use WhatsApp, use your phone, record audios, speaking to yourself. Go through. Sometimes, by the time that you have tried to articulate what you're going through, already that gave you the opportunity to notice pattern, to saw the things, maybe the things that you thought were more challenging, in truth, are not. Maybe there is something else that is bothering you. What is the most important thing for you? What do you care the most? What is the best outcome for you? Putting things out in writing, into words. Some of you use arts and wood paint, but talk about the situation. Move it out. Try to allow the brain and your system to put it into place, to put it in order, and then to grow through and to transmute it. This is one first free step available for everybody. If you, just because you want to stay positive, you just want to use your words to speak the reality that you want, perfect, that's great. However, it doesn't shaping reality and manifesting. Being responsible for what you create, it does not mean to deny what is going to happen. So we're experiencing, this is like what many people call school earth. This is the blend. This is the dance between the light and the darkness and all the opposites, the moon and the sun and all shades in between. This is what we're here for. So we cannot be one without the other. And it's not constructive just to focus on one, dismissing the existence of the other. Now, sure, you can reinforce the reality that you want. There are several techniques to that. I'm happy to explain a few laws and strong, powerful technique from Ascended Masters in another video. But just for today, remember, you want to acknowledge everything, still discuss it, bring it out. If you are also navigating with something that are not too much from the tangible words, so my friends are also medium or psychics or help other people with dealing with entity attachment, shamanic work, so much more, energy with the land, from this realm, angelic, galactic, there's so much. Make sure you invite your tap into your inner knowledge, you look for that wisdom to navigate for things from within yourself, connect with others. If you haven't got a circle, a trustworthy circles, or people ahead of you that can help you, at least try to put things into words and speak to your own self. That might also give you, so say for example, you do so, you sleep on it the day after, or you go out for a walk, connect with nature, connect with nature, connect with nature. Elements, thoughts, new perspective will come out to you. Solution, remain open to opportunities. Just by having that exercise of articulated things through, you will discover more. You will go, like your clarity 100% is going to go higher, at least a little bit. Then you can use that to face the situation, the conversation with a professional, or continue staying open for a solution. Everyone is navigating something that is quite complex. So with so much compassion, I hope this tip was helpful for you. Don't shy away things under the rug. Don't try to hide what is. Staying positive, it's fine. Remember that alchemy, positivity, that embodying the light still happens from navigating and transmuting the darkness. It's not a denial of it. It's not pretending it doesn't exist. It's not waking up and, okay, let's pretend nothing happened and go through the day. It will come back at you until you learn the lesson or until you clear the situation. Protect your integrated system. Make sure dissociation doesn't happen and you beautifully continue to work and operate as an intelligent system all connected together. Give yourself the chance to put things into pieces, into places, and continue to grow in the best and highest interest for yourself. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comment if there is anything that you tried that worked well for you. I send you a wonderful day. Stay strong and enlightened, everyone. Bye.